how addiction works. But what he's doing is he is saying that our social media is responsible for the deaths of all those children. Several of those children.
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
And most those children died by suicide. Now I'm an ambassador for SOS addiction of sorry, not addiction, SOS silence of suicide. Wow! Michael Mansfield's charity, because his daughter committed suicide. And I mean, it's a wonderful, wonderful cause. And anybody who has any issue where suicide is concerned, it's a wonderful cause. We have helplines available 24/7, etc. We're more proactive than the Samaritans who just listen. We will intervene as well and
Are you serious?
Try to provide solutions. And it actually infuriates me that Harry is blaming social media for children's suicides that had absolutely nothing to do whatsoever with social media. Just so that he can jump on a bandwagon and shut down social media, which is the only valuable source of criticism about him at the moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Because he has shut down the mainstream media. Well, had. I think we're going to see that it's starting to revive now. The Hollywood Reporter, the Daily Beast, etc. But this is a very recent thing.
Are you serious?
And the British mainstream media, they have gone belly up to a large extent. For instance, the Daily Mail.
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
Which used to criticize Harry and Meghan, are busy putting on the brown lipstick and kissing their bum-bums.
I know, it's revolting, actually. So glad I don't work there anymore.
But Dan, the reason's really simple, I think. Because they are getting ready with Harry to settle the lawsuit. And if they do it too precipitately, they lose credibility.
Fact.
And also, he would not have the incentive to settle with a company, and a newspaper company at that, or a media company actually, that was so overtly anti him. So there are sound practical reasons. Now, I have settled with Associated Newspapers repeatedly, so I know exactly how they function.
Okay.
I have had a partly adversarial and thereafter partly respectful relationship with the legal team at Associated Newspapers. Harvey Cass, wonderful man, he's now retired. Liz Hartley, I'm sure you know Liz Hartley.
Oh yes, I do.
I mean, I've known them all for nearly 40 years now, and this is so. What's happening with the Mail and with the British papers is, so they need to have all the legal stuff done and dusted.
Fact.
And then they can readdress the issues. But the Americans are now hopping in, and the Americans are now saying, hang on a second, there's something stinking in Denmark. That's what they're doing.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please do subscribe if you want lots more clips and interviews like that.
A net leadership rating of -19. And that's what I call Prince Harry territory. And I tell you, I think if this government keeps going the way it is, by Christmas he's going to be in Prince Andrew territory.
Breaking right now, it is all collapsing for this new government.
Okay.
Slippery Starmer mired in so much more scandal as the flurry of revelations about the dodgy money and favours that he took from Lord Ali are threatening to overwhelm his new government. Now, Matt Goodwin at the Reform UK conference said that Starmer is in Prince Harry territory, but it might be about to get a lot worse. Watch this.
Now that gives him,
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
in my world, a net leadership rating of -19. And that's what I call Prince Harry territory. And I tell you, I think if this government keeps going the way it is, by Christmas he's going to be in Prince Andrew territory.
Matt Goodwin, Keir Starmer, extraordinarily unpopular. He has had a disastrous start.
He really has, Dan. I mean, just simply through the lens of polling, he's collapsed about 30 points since becoming Prime Minister. I mean, you know, if this was a Conservative in office, you can
Wait for it.
imagine the reaction from the media class. There'd be calls for resignation. There'd be, you know, outrage. I mean, remember the early days of Liz Truss or some of the days of Boris Johnson. But this is a government that is
Here it comes.
incredibly unpopular very quickly. Indeed, I argued this would happen before the election. It's not just Keir Starmer, by the way, Dan. It's also Rachel Reeves. She's collapsed about 30 points. Fascinating polling last week from YouGov. They said to the British people, give us 5 words or phrases that come to mind when you think about the Labour Party, and not a single one in the top 5 was positive. It was dishonest, doesn't represent the values of ordinary people, looks after itself, etc., etc. They're all the same, was the basic view. And I think this scandal, you know, what to me, it's less about Lord Ali and the ins and the outs and the detail.
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
To me, Dan, it's about a deeper point, which is Keir Starmer says he's playing by the rules, and he might be playing by the rules. But I tell you what he's not playing by is something that is absolutely central to our culture in this country, which
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
Okay.
is the British people's sense of fair play. Is this guy treating us with respect? Is it fair play? Is it balanced? And on the conclusion of the British people, the answer is an emphatic no. He
You serious?
looks like he's taking everybody for a ride. I mean, Dan, he earned over £400,000 last year.
Yes, he's worth
Now,
10
why does a
million.
guy earning over £400,000
He's got
need
a massive
free
pension
glasses
pot.
and suits? I mean, come on, let's get real here for a second. And as you know, having gone through the Partygate scandal, you documented the reaction to that meticulously. There is an incredible hypocrisy, not just within the Labour movement, but actually, I would argue, much of the media class and the political class.
Okay.
Which came down on the Conservatives like a ton of bricks. And I think certain journalists, who I will be diplomatic and not name, have struggled with the current scandal engulfing the Labour Party because they're showing their own political bias.
Well, I mean, I will name one, Paul Brand, who went after Boris Johnson relentlessly over, let's be honest, in the end, a piece of cake. He has not yet reported on this scandal. Well, I hope he's looking into it because there have been new developments today. And Matt, I know what you mean about sort of the details don't matter because in a lot of ways they don't. It is about the hypocrisy, but I do sometimes wonder if
Wait for it.
there are those iconic images that relate to scandals like this. So I want to show you the video of Starmer's message that was given to the British public. This was in December 2021. Omicron had happened. I mean, by this point, I would say the lockdown restrictions are absolutely ridiculous. You should all do whatever you want. He was saying, you've got to stay at home. And this was the message that he filmed.
Wait for it.
With a bookshelf behind him. I want you to look at this carefully because there are family pictures on this bookshelf. So the clear implication, the message that is being given to the British public is here
it comes.
Is Keir Starmer speaking to you from his home, given he's telling you to work from home.
At times like this, we must all put the national interest first.
Okay.
And play by the rules. Of course, I understand that sticking to the rules can be inconvenient. But stick to the rules.
Now, Matt, I do just wonder if that is going to resonate with people because...
What?
It's so obvious that Lord Ali would not have had a photo of Keir Starmer's family on his bookshelf. This was manipulation, wasn't it?
Very good question.
I mean, this is going to become the story of the weekend. It's going to be debated for the next couple of days. It's going to become bigger, but it may well now become the story of the year.
Stop it.
If Keir Starmer continues to handle it as badly as he has done, like after the riots and the protests, he seems to be unable to understand why the public mood is the way that it is. Even